Hi, I'm Trista Polo.
And I'm Heather Lynn.
And this is All That Ease.
Show 42.
Show 42. Welcome.
I'm excited about
Me too.
today.
Me too. 42 is a pretty big number, so we're going to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to have some fun delving into the meaning and symbolism of 42.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So what have you been up to since we last were together? It feels like it's been forever since I've seen you.
I was invited by a mastermind group to teach accountability and social media. What's very cool about this group, it's a group of people that I work with in the shop.com company, and it includes and is led by our local $1 Million Club earners. So I have such huge respect for them. I got a lot of training, wisdom, learning from them. So to be asked to come and offer some of my skills and expertise for them was such a huge honor.
Congratulations.
Thank you. How about your weekend?
Yeah, so my past week has been wonderfully busy with lots of personal love. Just started off, my daughter had her 5th birthday.
Yay! Happy birthday!
It was really fun.
Did you have a theme?
She picked her own theme for her birthday party, which was under the sea.
Nice.
Yeah, so everything was ocean related.
Great.
And my mom got the birthday cake and got about the biggest, bluest cake you ever did see.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, about as big as your painting.
Holy crolies. That's ridiculous.
I mean, can you please look at your painting?
I mean, I know that painting. That painting, by the way, which you can see on my Instagram and my Facebook, if you follow me. So follow me on Instagram. That was a painting done for me by one of my closest friends from college, Jennifer Dunphy Johnson. And she painted that for me. And I have lived in this house for 18 years. And that painting has pretty much been in that spot all 18 years. I love it. It's one of my favorite things.
It's a beautiful painting.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah, so that's pretty much what my daughter's cake looked like.
It's big. The painting is big. Must be great.
So it was super awesome. And like all her friends came. I love her friends. I love their parents. And they're all kind of part of the little school that she's, graduated from in June. And I'm just so happy we found that little school. And I love the families that are in our lives now, probably pretty much forever, because all our kids are going to grow up together.
Nice.
I also had some personal good news, which was I had another checkup in the city, another, A+ checkup.
Great.
And at this point, I'm just really feeling good. Because, the surgery was a year ago, but then there was that hiccup in my checkups where they found the cyst. So then it was like another surgery, another cycle of healing.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I finally got enough in a row that I feel confident.
That's amazing. Is it typical for them to check so often? I feel like it's pretty often that you go back in for checkups and updates.
Yeah, it's typical of that for the first 2 years.
Oh, okay.
They check up with you every 3-ish months.
I guess time is flying. It feels like you are always in the city.
Well, it's once a season. So, I mean, it's kind of a lot,
Yeah.
4 times a year I'll be down there. So that was just great, and that just
Awesome.
felt good to...
Yay!
Cool. I know!
Very cool.
I want to share that I had a grand healing today. But I'm feeling much better. I was feeling a little... I think what happens sometimes in a healing is you have to catch back up with yourself. You kind of get lost in space and time a little bit. You're a little groggy.
During the healing?
During the healing and then post-healing, you're just a little oh, you could just go relax for a little while. You don't jump off the bed and say, hey, let's
play
go run
tennis.
a marathon. Yeah, right.
Want to go for a bike ride?
Yeah.
So just remind us really quick what a grand healing is for people who have not heard us talk about this in a previous episode.
Sure. So a lot of messages coming in formulated the slow hunch that it'd be in my highest good to work with 2 other healers, and that we would rotate, but 2 of us would work on the other person. The idea being, especially for healers, you kind of need the next level healing to be balanced, to be grounded, to clear. If you get, sometimes people's stuff can get stuck on you. So the grand healing was born. And then from the grand healing was a lot of epiphanies that, man, what we do is pretty powerful and just beautiful and wonderful and magical. And we finally formulated some kind of structure around others being able to jump in on this.
Nice.
So we're now offering grand healings to the public. So those who are healers are our target audience, but also people who've been in their healing journey for a while and are ready for that next level of doses, if you will.
So if somebody's interested in more information or finding out your schedule and your pricing, etc., where can they go to find that?
Shoot me a line at heather@livewiththesereiki.com.
Great, and you can give them the specifics.
Totally.
Awesome.
So I'm excited to delve into the meaning of 42 because you know how I am about counting our episodes.
Oh, yeah.
And then I love to dabble in some numerology.
And you said, I think 42 is a really good number.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that it is a really good number because do you know 42 is the meaning of life? It's the answer to life, the universe, and everything. It's 42.
Yeah. Who says that?
Well, Doug Adams does.
Oh, okay, great. And
That's from The Hitchhiker's Guide.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah. I never read that.
Oh, it's a good book.
Oh.
And then they turned it into a movie, which was not as good as the book.
I could see by your face, like blase.
It just wasn't.
Great. Awesome. Well, here's some fun info about the
real meaning.
The real
of
meaning
42.
of 42. So I'll give a little shout out to Joanne Sacred Scribes, Sacred Scribes Angel Numbers.blogspot.com. So, of course, when you go into numerology, you kind of tease the numbers apart. You're going to, what does 4 represent? What does 2 represent? And then the two of them together, how are they then intertwining and energetically booming their different properties? So, the angel number 42 is a message from your angels indicating that you are to maintain faith and trust and know that your prayers have been heard and are being answered. 42 also encourages you to pursue your ideal career and or profession. If you are intuitively prompted to begin or expand a spiritually based career, practice, or profession, the angels will assist with establishing the foundations that will lead you to your desired results and ultimate success.
Wow.
Working to serve others will manifest all that you want and need in your life.
That's amazing.
I know. And what I love about that, because what we always do is pick some cards beforehand.
Yes.
Mine are essentially all about future.
Yes.
Moving forward, manifesting. So, love this. I mean, my career is, a little bit spiritually based. I just...
You dabble.
It's just a touch.
You dabble.
Spiritual. I mean, it's so practical and logical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very mainstream.
Yeah, super. Super pragmatic.
That's right.
Yeah, that's how I would describe me.
Not woo-woo at all.
No. Yeah. And, all that ease. It's just so pragmatic.
Yes. No woo-woo here.
No. I mean, we're just drowning in the woo-woo.
We're drowning in the woo-woo.
So I like that this is it's a good number for today.
Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of cards did you select?
Last week, I had this very vulnerable journey I ended up on. I wasn't expecting it, but there it was. And what I talked about last week was that I was really trying to figure out who I was because I tend to be a chameleon. I tend to adapt very easily and very naturally to the people that I spend time with. I've done a lot of thinking about that and a lot of pondering and a lot of meditating and a lot of writing. And so the cards that I got today are perfect for kind of the epiphany that I've come to. I got things about inner wisdom, inner goddess. So it's all about the inside, the internal conversation. And probably one of the most beautiful cards from the Doreen Virtue Goddess Guidance cards that we use is the Butterfly Maiden, which of course is all about transformation. And it says, you're experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. And then the last card I got is Irene, which is all about peace. There's no need to worry. Everything is coming out beautifully. Yes, I absolutely respond energetically to the people that I spend time with. And I'm going to change the word I used last week when I said strong people, and I'm going to change it to strong energy. Mm. When you're alone, you're no one except who you are to yourself. It's only when you get out into the world and connect with others that you can allow your energies to combine and create something new. That was that whole conversation about the big idea. Mm-hmm. It doesn't come in a vacuum. It comes when you're connecting with others and combining energies and creating. And so what I've really come to is that, yes, I absolutely mesh with energies of others, which is a huge gift because it turns my creativity dial up to infinite, I'm embracing that now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really enjoying what it looks like. And so one of the big lessons that I got from that conversation is now I can see when it's authentic and when it's because I want to be liked.
Mm.
And then I can make a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And that really serves me in my path.
And I think that's true for human beings because we are all energetic beings. And so we all meld, and a new synergy is always happening when two people come together, and then two different people come together, and then a group of 4 or 5. So energies are always melding, and I think you bring up a great point of having awareness about when you're blending and staying centered to your authentic self, and when you're blending and kind of leaving your center because you're trying to fit some role in a group or some role in a partnership. So the difference between fitting into a role and just being your authentic self and allowing just the roles to come into being because of the balance of the energies.
Yeah.
It's funny because it kind of reminds me of group dynamic theory that I studied in social work school when I was getting my master's, that no matter what group of people you put together, everyone will fall into a role. It just, I think, kind of speaks to energies will find a way to synergize so that they're balanced.
Absolutely. I'm a member of the Junior League of Poughkeepsie, which is a volunteer women's organization. It's the local chapter for the Association of Junior Leagues International. You have what's called a provisional year. What they do is they specifically do not assign leadership roles, support roles. They allow everybody to find their own level. And it's interesting because there's always a leader, and they self-select or they're selected by the group. Mm-hmm. There's always somebody who ends up being the promoter and the marketer. That's definitely something I've experienced firsthand. Anything else about number 42 that strikes you important to share?
The other thing that resonates about the meaning of 42 is to follow your passions, to live your life on purpose, you know, what you're here to do and be passionate about it. And when you live from your heart and your soul, doing what you love, what you're meant to do here on this planet, the world, the universe will conspire to manifest your dreams and support you in your dreams. So I think what's nice about the number 42, whether that's your 42nd episode or your 42nd year on this earth or the number on your house or what have you, if 42 keeps popping up for you, that maybe it's an encouraging sign to do what you love or an encouraging sign to start doing what you love.
Yeah, I want to give a little shout out to my friend Rhonda Wada. She has a process called Divine Navigation, and she's developed a way to help you determine your 4 coordinates, north, south, east, west, to figure out what you're doing here and how to lead an inspired life. She calls the people she works with spiritual entrepreneurs. And that's exactly what they work on.
What's neat when you think about living your life on purpose and following your passions is really about kind of going outside the box sometimes, especially if you're a spiritual entrepreneur or just even being an entrepreneur, you're already living outside the box.
That's for sure.
You're not in the mainstream, going to a job, collecting a paycheck, being paid by somebody else because somebody else was the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And now you're part of that workforce.
Beat of your own drum.
And how you might have to pull from other parts of like your brain and way of thinking in order to really push the boundaries to be successful at being an entrepreneur.
Absolutely, because you have to go beyond fear. You have to go outside your comfort zone. You have to go where you're vulnerable. None of that stuff is what your brain wants you to do.
Totally. And I have to tell you, I just watched an amazing movie.
Oh, which one?
Yesterday, all about the brain. Lucy, Scarlett Johansson, Morgan Freeman. Really good movies. My husband and I, we weren't totally into the kind of beginning. Something like there's like a whole drug lord tie-in theme to this movie. I think that's because they've got to be blockbuster. So they're going to have some of that more sensationalized themes to help the movie be successful. But the real point and theme of the movie is research says that we only use like 4% of our brains. And so, of course, the movie kind of goes through, what happens if you could break through those barriers and use 7% and then 10% and then 20%. And it's a really wild movie, but I really loved it, of course, because it's kind of all the things that I love. I mean, I started my career or passion in psychology and then moved to social work and Now it's helping people in a way that's much more spiritual and energy based.
Yeah.
Super outside the box. So I just kind of love the psychology behind the possibilities that lie within our brain if we like lived outside the box of 4%.
How did they get her from 4% beyond?
So the drug lords are manufacturing this new drug, CDP4 or something like that. This CDP4 or whatever is the acronym is an actual drug our female bodies create when they first get pregnant. It's this boost chemical that feeds the fetus the magic ingredients that
Create life. Yeah.
One cell splits into two, and then that they find each other and they know which one, how do the cells know? I'm going to be the bone cells.
Right.
Where are all my bone buddies? And then my muscle cell, where are all
I like
you?
that. My bone buddies.
Buddies.
That's a hashtag.
Then, yeah.
My bone buddies.
Yeah. And then my heart homies. Like, I mean, how do they all...
Oh my God.
How do they all find each other?
Hold on a minute. I just have to stop you. Because I'm really feeling a Saturday cartoon coming on.
Awesome.
Bone buddies, heart homies. It has a real wellness hip-hop feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it could completely take over Dora the Explorer.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, the Teletubbies got nothing on the heart homies. Am I right?
Yeah.
There's something there.
What I like about Bone Buddies, it could be like all about health, right? And taking care of their bodies.
Yeah.
And what you feed is what you are. And the Heart Homies could be all like the social emotional lessons, right? How to take care of each other's feelings.
We have to get this into the hands of a writer. I know a few. I'm going to run it by them and see what they think of the Heart Homies and the Bone Buddies.
I love.
Yes.
Right. I mean, then there's just merchandising. I mean, it could just be endless. Books, movies, puppet shows.
So much.
It's happening.
It's Barney of the age. It's good stuff.
You're out of here, Purple Dinosaur.
Is he still around? I don't care.
He is.
I never liked him much.
Funny guy. Anyway, so it just so the drug lords manufacture this drug.
Of course they do.
So that like a dose is like 1 million times what the human body produces to feed the fetus. And what happens is they sample it. They're pretty much using human beings as rats. They like stuff bags of the drug into the abdomens of these 4 people, send them on their way. Her bag leaks.
Sure, of course it does.
So then her body goes through this mega dose and transformation of the special drug. So it was just real. It was mind blowing, literally.
Mind bending, mind blowing. Yeah.
I liked it. So I would love to know. People give me a shout out. What's the reality on this drug? Do we really have this drug? What does it really do in the body and for the fetus? And what experiments are there out there or research projects that people are exploring? Human beings who are using more than 4% of their brain. Like, do you find them? How do you find people who are using more than 4% of their brain? Maybe we're using more than 4% of our brain.
It reminds me of the experiments that were done in the beginning of the Ghostbusters movie when he's trying to determine psychic ability. Mm-hmm. And if you get the card wrong, you get a shock. And the guy that he was testing was getting about 80% right, and he just kept giving him a shock like he was getting them wrong. And the girl, who of course was beautiful, was getting them all wrong, mm-hmm. and he was acting like she was psychic and he was going to take her to dinner. Did you know that they're thinking about redoing a reboot of Ghostbusters with an all-female cast?
I guess I should be excited about that.
Well, they were going to do a new Ghostbusters movie with the original cast, and it took them about 1.5 to 2 years to get the last cast member to agree, and then unfortunately he passed away before they could make the movie.
Oh no, so who?
Yeah, so Harold Ramis is the one that unfortunately passed away. Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and
Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson was the 4th one. Yeah, so that's too bad. But listen, a Ghostbusters reboot could be fun.
That could be fun. I'm sure they're probably getting SNL women.
Could you imagine Tina Fey as a Ghostbuster?
Tina Fey.
That would be so great. Tina Fey, be one of the Ghostbusters. They would have to have Melissa McCarthy in this. She'd be the Dan Aykroyd. Maya Rudolph would be great. Kristen Wiig would be great. Tina Fey would be great. Melissa McCarthy would be great. All right, we have cast your Ghostbusters. You guys can go home. I want you to send me a check, and I want credit for casting in the movie credits.
Totally. I mean, that is a beautiful foursome.
That would be an amazing cast.
That's fun.
An amazing cast.
Oh my God, so funny, so silly, so outrageous.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, I love it.
Oh,
great. Hashtag
stuff.
Ghostbusters, man.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I say often when I'm teaching people how to do Reiki or when they're sitting to receive Reiki, I often say to them, like, don't cross your hands, don't cross your feet. Like in Ghostbusters, don't cross the streams.
Don't cross the streams.
Often use it as a reference.
Why? Because you don't want to cross the energy. You want the energy to stay separate and grounded.
And flow. Right? You interrupt it, collisions, problems, don't cross the streams.
They were Reiki masters and they understood that.
Maybe who wrote it? Harold
Ramis.
He knew. Intuitively, he knew. Don't cross the streams.
He knew.
The other thing I often think about when I think about Reiki, as it relates to Ghostbusters, because I know.
I mean,
it's just so obvious
all the time.
Literally. Is my Kingston office with Melinda DeMercurio and Grant Freer is that we're like opening up the vortex of energy, but instead of like the negative swirling black cloud over the Ghostbusters building, it's this bright white light of awesomeness.
I love it.
A vortex of healing awesomeness.
Now, speaking of bright white light, I would love to intro what we're going to be doing starting next week, because color is going to be very important in the weeks to come of the All That Ease podcast.
Totally. We are going to do a series called The Manifestation Connection. It's going to play off a theory that came to me in my slow hunch that we manifest things in the order of our chakras from crown to base. And that anything that manifests, any concept, any idea has to kind of travel through and pass through each chakra before it's ever quote-unquote realized.
We're going to delve into that concept.
In the series, each show is going to represent a different chakra. As of August 19th, we're going to intro it, delve into chakras.
And that's a really important show to make sure not to miss. If chakras are new to you, you've always been curious about them, you don't really know what they are, you've seen Phoebe cleaning people's auras on Friends but didn't really understand what it meant, that's a great show not to miss, because that's where we're really going to put all the foundation in place. And then every week after that, we're going to spend that episode talking about that specific chakra. We're going to go right in order. It's going to be a wonderful series, and it's going to bring us right up to our year anniversary live show.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We're going to tell you about the chakras, their colors, their sounds, their meanings.
And here's an invitation I'd like to make to our audience. If we have audience members, listeners, who have experience with chakra challenges, chakra healing, and chakra manifestation,
totally.
Because I would love to include those when we talk about that specific chakra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely give us a shout out. Let us know what you know about chakras. What are your questions about chakras? Where are you having health issues? We can relate it to your chakra and what you can do to undo it. It's very Louise Hay-ish as well, I must say.
Absolutely. And a great place to interact with us about this topic is at allthatease.com. We have a Connect with Us form right on the website. Go ahead and send us an inquiry. Let us know what's about the upcoming chakra series, which chakra you have questions or experiences about, and we will incorporate it into the show.
Let us also share that people can meet up with us in person. I mean, social media is cool.
Absolutely.
But we're pretty awesome in person.
That's true.
So meetup.com/allthatease is a schedule of our meetups.
Yep.
Come hang out with us. Little coffee talk, little meeting of the minds.
Little woo-woo.
Little woo-woo. And come with just open mind to just hear what other people are doing in their own self-growth, spiritual searchings and ponderings.
Yeah. Wow, we covered a lot of really fun stuff this week, and I'm super excited about next week and all the stuff we're going to talk about with chakras. So if you know people that are very into chakras, manifestation, law of attraction, let them know to tune into our podcast, especially starting August 19th, because there's going to be some great stuff going on.
Yeah. And if you always wondered, like, what colors mean, represent, and why maybe you picked purple that day to wear, and why are you always wearing turquoise, and, like, the jewelry, why are you always drawn to turquoise, or always drawn to garnet? You know, that's energy pulling you in a direction because something's there for you.
That's
We're going to go into all that.
I love it. So what is the Entrepreneur with Ease pro tip that we have for our listeners this week.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I can see you have a good one.
I'm excited. Hashtag do what you love.
I love it.
In honor of 42 and following your passions, do what you love.
So our Entrepreneur with Ease, our ilk, is do what ilk love.
Totes!
Totally. Sounds great. I love that. That is for some people that is a lifelong exploration, but I think for others they don't even realize it's an option. I want to thank you so much for spending my last day with me here in New York before I take a week off and head to North Carolina. And I'm really looking forward to our next meetup.
Oh, yeah. Meetups are awesome. Our first one was fabulous. Mm-hmm. And I'm excited for our Manifestation Connection series.
Awesome. So I think with that we will. See you next Tuesday.